Yo guys, what's good, what's good, what's good? It's your boy Zode, and welcome back to Zode Talks. Yeah, talking with Zode, talking with Zode. Okay, do you know what? Pardon me being silly, I'm just super hyped right now. I don't know why, I'm just, happy talking about this, the topic on ground. But before we proceed, please, if you're new here, like, share, subscribe, okay? If you're not done so, please do so. And also, turn on your notifications so that you'll be notified whenever I make a video. And like this video so that the algorithm can push it to amazing people like yourselves, alright? Thank you so much. And meanwhile, please, my Instagram and Snapchat, go follow, guys. You see, I really appreciate you guys here. It's like a small gang, the Zodenites. So please subscribe to join the Zodenites, okay? Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. You see, since when I came to Ireland, my friends back home in Nigeria, family and everyone, they've been anticipating this video. You see, what are these culture shocks you've experienced in Ireland as a Nigerian living there? And yeah, I've taken a while to compile this, so it's basically high time I talk about this. But before I proceed, there are some things I want to say before I get into the video. Firstly, do not concern yourself too much with these things you see online about the Irish people. This anti-immigration thing, this thing whereby people are protesting that people should go back home. Yo, don't let that stain or soil your mentality that you have of Irish people. Do not. Now the thing is that those people that you see doing those things are actually the minorities. And it just so happens that the minorities are the loud ones. So yeah, don't think every Irish person is that way. The Irish people are a nice, friendly set of people. I don't have to say this, but it's the truth. So don't be scared at all. Don't think if you come here, they are going to abuse you. Do not do that, alright? The only thing that I will, encourage you to do is to behave yourself. Just act right, because even you won't be happy if someone comes to your home and starts doing some stupid things like vandalizing, stealing. You won't be happy. Okay, so when you come here, just behave yourself and you'll be fine. Don't get me wrong, there are some stupid people. You always meet stupid people, but for the most part, the Irish people are a lovely set of people. Secondly, Ireland and Nigeria are the only two countries I've been to. So these culture shocks per se may not exclusively be an Irish culture shock. So that being said, it's possible that the country that you are in, something similar happens. That's fine. And that may be true, but I wouldn't know that because I've not been to the country you are in. Don't come and start saying, yeah, even in the country I'm in now, it's like that. It's like, no. That may be true. I understand that, but I wouldn't know, because I'm talking out of experience, which brings me to my third point. Now, this is solely my opinion and perspective, so you don't have to take my word for it. It's fine if you don't. Alright, so yeah, I'm just putting this out there. So comprende? Are we cool? You understand this? The above things that I just said, yeah? We cool, yeah? Alright, good. Let's move on. I'll try to number these culture shocks because honestly I have a lot. In case I lose track of the numbering, just know that it's in the list and try to pay attention. But before I do that, please like, share, subscribe, alright? Have you done that? Locked in? Alright, thank you very much. Let's proceed. Now, number one, culture shock. In Nigeria, when you see someone in pain or when you see someone in misery, torment or whatever, what's the first thing that comes into your head to tell the person?
Sorry, man.
God, buddy, I'm sorry. You okay?
Sorry!
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. That's the first thing that comes to your mind to tell the person. But over here, you see, it's more of a thing whereby sorry is not a word that is casually said, especially if it's not you that is the cause of that person's suffering or pain. For example, now, you can see someone slip and fall and you tell the person, yo, sorry. And the person will be like, why are you telling me sorry? When I came here, I had to deal with that a lot. I didn't understand it, but you see, it's more of a thing whereby, as I said, if you are not the cause of it, you don't have to tell them sorry. And if you do, they will ask you why you're telling them sorry. There was this particular time I was so I was just not in a good space that day, you understand? Or rather, maybe it was just me being dramatic. This girl fell, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. And this girl was like, thanks. She was like, why am I telling her sorry? And I was like, because you're in pain. Duh. Like, why else would I be telling you sorry? But anyway, that's just the point, okay? Sorry is a formal term here than it is a casual term. Like, people don't just casually go around saying sorry to, people that are in pain or people that are suffering. I remember there was a time I was working in this fast food. The oven sort of burned my hand. No one told me sorry. Like, this Irish guy just came and was like, how's it? It's hot, yeah? Oh, that happened to you. Oh, do you know that it took me almost every willpower in me to not rush that guy, because I was like, if you can't say sorry or if you can't show some sort of sympathy or empathy, just shut the hell up. Okay, but still, that's just how they are here. When you come here, take note of that. Culture shock number 2, the road signs walk. Oh god, you see, road signs walk. Back home in Nigeria, as much as I hate to say this, is the truth, but it seems like when there are no police around or when there's no military or anyone back home, it's like the road signs are more of a suggestion than a command. You see a red sign and it's like, do you want to stop? Like, stop. But over here, the road signs work. You see, it's when I came to Ireland, I saw how a zebra crossing works. You see a zebra crossing in Nigeria, but it's like you really don't know how it works. So basically, when I came here, this is how it is. If you're at the zebra crossing, okay, if you're at the edge or wherever, all cars are supposed to stop for you to cross. In Nigeria, who does that? Like, what the hell? So you see, knowing that people pay attention to the road signs here, even if there are no police or military around, that's super good. When I went to Nigeria in March, it's like the lanes were just for fancy. It's like people should just, especially all these bus drivers, these downfall drivers, God, you guys will play with someone's life. But anyway, I guess that's the country we're in. So over here, the red light is a command. It means stop. The green light means go. The zebra crossing, it exists for a reason. Obey the signs when you come here. Obey the rules of the road and everything because it works. It works. Trust me, it works. Culture shock number 3, fully furnished houses. You see, for the most part, the rental properties come fully furnished. You'll see things like a couch there, a sofa, you see bed, you see mattress, you see a television. Sometimes you even get kitchen utensils like spoons, pots, forks. I won't advise you to use those anyway. But if you must, make sure you sterilize them well. But still, it's quite shocking because in Nigeria, that's not the case. You see, when you rent a property, you move into the property with your own furniture, I things like that. But over here, that's not the case at all. And granted, it has that's only fair because the amounts we pay for rent, oh god, there's a housing crisis in Ireland, and the few landlords that have houses to rent out, they just go overboard with the price. So yes, okay, when you're moving to a place, you don't have to bother with your furniture, except you just have your taste of furniture, that's, there's just a specific thing you want in a specific color or whatever. If you're not that kind of person, you'll be just fine. Just move in with your clothes and you'll be good. The 4th culture shock. Now let's talk about security consciousness, because to be honest with you, over here, I don't even know if that's a thing per se, you see. And to an extent, I won't say I won't blame them anyway, but I sort of get it. And that's because, for the most part, Ireland is a peaceful country. You hardly hear of things like kidnappings, you hardly hear of terrorist attacks, So, as a matter of fact, because of that reason, it's like people don't have this zeal to be security conscious. So that being said, you see a lot of, unlocked cars, unlocked houses. All right, there are so many times I've visited an Irish home over here and you'll be like, yo, I'm downstairs and I'll tell you the door is open, just come in. And some of them actually sleep that way. So yeah, that's just the thing. Security consciousness here is not really as tight. Don't get me wrong, some of them do their own due diligence, and the bare minimum, but it's not as intense as the average person has a security consciousness back home in Nigeria. Because sometimes even me over here, sometimes I will just be walking on the street, I'll pause.
Cricket! Okay. Do the house.
And I do the OBS, I'll observe, just to make sure that the coast is clear, you see. I still do that sometimes, but over here, people just do things freely. They just have this free spirit. But still, no matter how safe it is of a country, I won't do something like that, I won't leave the door of my cars open, or I won't leave the door of my house open, or rather unlocked. That's why it's a culture shock for me. The 5th culture shock, personal payment is a thing here, aka 50-50. What you've heard is true. 50-50 is a thing here. Sometimes I find this one funny, but I really don't even blame them because the way things are here. Just for context, okay? If you see a man that has his whole family and the wife does not work, just know that man is in money. Just know that man is working a high-class job because the average man can't do that because there's so many things to pay for. You have your insurance, you have your bills, you have your house rent. Even if you own the house, you have mortgage, most likely. So there are just expenses upon expenses upon expenses upon expenses. Talk more of the holidays that you have to take, your clothes that you want to wear, miscellaneous. So that being said, it's like men rightfully are the protectors and sole providers, but over here it's not always the men. Okay, they do this thing whereby they join incomes and they take care of the family. So yeah, 50-50 is a thing. There was a time I went out with this colleague of mine. We just went to have drinks and I decided to pay for her, and she noticed that this is what I do sometimes, and she was like, that's one of the reasons that she find black men or African men amazing. And I was like, how do you mean? So she was like, she has hardly ever went out on a date with a guy and the guy paid everything. She gave me some instance of how she go out with a guy and the guy will say that they should split the bill there and there, or when she goes home she will check her WhatsApp or her Instagram and she will see the account details of the guy. That's the bank details of the guy, and the guy will request that she pays him the money he spent on her on a date. As I'm saying, 50-50 is a thing. I won't entirely blame them, So yeah, don't be surprised if, or rather, don't shame men that do 50-50 over here because it's not easy at all. Have you guys been paying attention so far? Have you guys been listening so far? Alright, now I need your attention a bit more right now because this is where it gets interesting. Culture shock number, I've even lost count at this point, 6 I think, or I don't even know. When you knock at the door of the home of an Irish person, 8 out of 10 times they don't open the door to answer you. They answer you from the window. You see, I find this really funny, and we actually do it at home, but I think that we do it for different reasons. We have children at home, okay? So my siblings. Now so basically it's advised that they should never ever open the door to answer because definitely you don't want someone overpowering them or harming them or anything, okay? That's why we do it. But apparently that's an Irish thing for someone to answer the door from the window. Even if there's a peephole on the door, it doesn't matter, like they'll answer you from the window. Something I find funny about this is that the fact the person answered you from the window doesn't necessarily mean the person was always there. The person can be from, the person can come from up, down, just to answer you from the window. When you knock in the house of an Irish person, just look towards the window because 8 out of 10 times they'll answer you from the window. Why they do this, I do not know, but yeah, it's a thing over here. Culture shock number 7. There's a cultural difference in the way gratitude is expressed over here. I won't say something as harsh or as stupid as calling them ungrateful. No, I won't say that. So, that being said, that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. There's a cultural difference in the way gratitude is expressed here. Now, you may want to ask, so there was that cultural difference? I really do not know. I really do not know how they express gratitude, but it's quite different from how we express gratitude. Now, personally, I'm going to use myself as a case study here. If you do something good for me, or if let's say you give me a gift or something, you've gotten a friend for life, like you've gotten a real one for life. It doesn't necessarily have to be a big thing. It can be something as basic as chocolate, you understand? Like the gesture, the kind gesture, you understand? Yeah, that's what gets to me, that's what moves me. So that being said, they don't necessarily give you that in the sense that, yeah, they just say thank you. And it's like they don't have this emotional attachment, or it's like they don't feel a type of way when you do something, good for them, or they don't have this sentimental attachment to gifts or things like that. As I said, I do not know the way they express their gratitude, but I know that there's a cultural difference because as a matter of fact, you can do something good for someone today, or you can gift a person today, and tomorrow that same person will do something wicked. You understand? Yeah. So that being said, I'm still saying it. There's just this cultural difference in the way gratitude is expressed. I do not know what it is, but there is. Okay. And as I said, they don't have this sentimental attachment to kind gestures or gifts per se. Yes, don't get me wrong, they appreciate things, but it's like there's no inward appreciation. I really don't know how to deliver this point in a way that no one feels offended, but I'm just telling you what I've noticed. Okay, I'm just telling you what I've noticed, and that being said, I'm like, okay, do you know what, if this is the way it is, no problem. You are free to live the way you want to live your life, and I'll live the way I want to live my life. You have to take caution of that. And if you're the type that's sensitive, don't think about it too much, okay? Number 8, speaking of cultural differences, prostitution and hookup is illegal over here. Now look, for those girls back home that rely on prostitution to make money, And for the guys that rely on prostitution in order to get sex from a woman, you won't find that here. Don't get me wrong, there are people that do it on a low, under the radar, but for the most part, prostitution is illegal over here in Ireland. Now, I'm just putting it out there because, okay, as Nigerians, you know anyway, but still, that's just it. Prostitution is illegal over here. Culture shock number 9. Now, you see, there is a relaxed attitude when it comes to their appearance. So that being said, do not be surprised when you come to Ireland and you see people comfortably driving dirty cars, or you see people comfortably wearing dirty shoes, or you see people wearing color riots. People don't really drip like that over here in Ireland. Don't get me wrong, of course you'll find people that drip, but when I say things like this, I'm just talking about the general populace. I'm not even saying this to be funny, but it's true. As a matter of fact, you are more likely to get a gospel album from Eminem than for you to see a clean pair of white Air Force Ones. Now, I see where I'm going with this here, because you are never ever getting a gospel album from Eminem. Now, don't get me wrong, this is an exaggeration, of course, but you get the point. This relaxed attitude, even when it comes to how clean their cars look or their shoes, I really don't get it, to be honest. I really do not understand it. I don't know if I ever will. But to be fair though, the older people, let's say 35 and above, okay, they actually put in the work, because they at least they wear clean shoes, they drive clean cars, and they put in a little bit of work to their appearance. But for the young ones, not really, to be honest. Like, not really. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying everyone wears dirty shoes in Ireland. I'm not saying that. Generally, there's this relaxed attitude when it comes to their appearance. Now, speaking of appearances, this brings me to my next point, which is short shorts, micro skirts, short dresses. We as Nigerians, we are no stranger to short dresses or short clothes, but in this case, it's a cultural shock, because it's really shocking. All right, like, it's really shocking. Now, you would think that the people only wear short dresses when it's the summer, or when it's spring, or when the weather is warm, but that's not always the case, because when these people want to wear short dresses, they do not let the weather stop them from anything. As a matter of fact, this Halloween that just passed last year, I honestly don't know what was celebrated in Ireland. I don't know if it was Halloween or if it was a competition on who could show butt cheeks the most, because it was freezing that night. But what people wore, oh god. But the thing is that over here, should I say it's not discouraged as we have it back home in Nigeria. You know, in Nigeria, when people wear short dresses, you look at them in a, let's say, with a wayward eye or whatever. But over here, not really, because in Nigeria, we are trained to dress good because the world is watching. But over here, people are trained to close their eyes. Now, you closing yours is, it depends on you, by the way, but yeah, that's just the vibe. Culture shock number 11. Each county, state, or whatever you want to call it, has its own accent. This is something I've never understood. Like, I can never understand this. I'm going to tell you why. Because I don't see why every county should have its own accent. But it's the thing, and I'm going to explain something for you. You see, in Nigeria, every state have their own accent, because we all speak different languages. You see, what Edo speak is different from what the Igbo speak, or the Yorubas, or the Hausas, and all. Now, note, even in the Edo tribe, you see tribes that have a sub-tribe. Now, those sub-tribes also have their own languages. So you understand where this is going, So it's expected that people, or every state, has their own accent, because we speak a different language. But over here, the reason I say I don't understand it is because we only speak 2 languages in Ireland: Irish and English. So, like, where is the variation in accents coming from exactly? Like, as a matter of fact, so a colleague of mine, now my friend, he recommended a song that I react to on YouTube. The name of the song was okay, I don't want to call the name of the songs, but when I was reacting to the song, I made mention of the fact that these people were speaking Irish and not English. But it turns out that I was called by my father to take that video down because these people were speaking English, and I was like, what the hell is that? So when I did my research on this, I found out that's how the Dublin accent sounds like. Cork has its own accent, Limerick their own accent, Sligo their own accent. So that's the thing, alright? Every county has its own accent here, even if they all speak the same language. Now, speaking of accents, language, and the rest, please, for the love of God, do not try to pronounce an Irish name the way it's spelled. Like, look, that's something that'll come as a huge shock to you. Things are not the way they seem in that regards over here. I'm gonna give you some examples here. So try pronouncing this name. It's not Soban, it's Siobhan. This name is Siobhan. Now you see where this is going here. This name is Siobhan. Okay, try pronouncing this one. This name is pronounced Owen. Owen, like Owen. That's Owen in Irish. Now this is the name of a place. Try pronouncing it. It's not yoga, it's y'all. Try pronouncing this one. It's pronounced Kiva. Kiva. Look, as I said, nothing will prepare you for this shock, and nothing is going to prepare you for this shock. So, yeah, when you come here, just humbly request that someone tells you the pronunciation of names over here, because nah, it's crazy. And do you now know the shocking thing? Okay, of course that's shocking, but do you know something that will even shock you further? In the different accents, they are not pronounced the same way. That's like there's always this slight twitch or change. Man, at this point, you have to love the Irish people. You have to love the Irish people, because nah, these people are just amazing. The 12th culture shock, religion. The reason why this is a culture shock for me is because from the little knowledge I had of Ireland before I came here, I know that Ireland is a religious country, but the people are not so religious, to be honest. They are not so religious. Now the churches, you know how in Nigeria the church is a business, or rather it profits like a business, or as if it was set up as a business. But over here, nah, it's not at all. As a matter of fact, I went to this Catholic church one time with my friends. The way the Catholic church was looking, I was like, this is not how a proper Catholic church is. Just for context, the priest didn't have any manservant. So basically, he was doing everything himself. He was preparing the altar himself, the table. There was no choir. There was just one woman that volunteered to be singing. There was no choir. And when I asked my friend after the mass, I was like, yo, G, what's that about? So it was like, that's how it is, basically, that there's this huge decline in religion in Ireland. So that being said, most of the seminaries are actually looking for people who want to become priests. And of course, there are no mass servants. So as much as it's a religious country, the people here are not so religious. Don't be surprised about that. I've told you now, so you don't have to be surprised. Number 13, you see, this next point, I'm not trying to be rude here. I'm not trying to abuse anyone. I'm not trying to be insultive. But let me just say it for what it is, or rather for what I've seen it to be. They talk a lot. Oh God, like they talk a lot. As a matter of fact, when I got here at first, it was sort of irritating me to an extent, because let's say you meet someone and you ask him something like, how are you? He will answer the question, I'm fine. He will tell you about his pets, the holiday he had, the weather, and I'm just like, I asked how you are, why are you telling me about the weather? But when I stayed in the country for some time, I sort of understood it. You see, the people here appear to be reserved, but that's not always the case. The fact they appear to be reserved does not mean that they are. It's just that over here is just too diverse, to the point that it's like people are walking on eggshells because they don't want to step on someone's toes or say something offensive to people. So people appear reserved, but that doesn't mean that they want to be reserved. So that being said, when you meet a person from here, once they have that opportunity to talk and converse, oh God, they take it to the max. I feel people are lonely over here. I know I am. That being said, I think I sort of understand it now. About talking a lot, now just to hammer on this point. Now here's the thing. What I've noticed about it is that it's like they don't have this mentality to keep some things to themselves, even if it's a good news. For example, there was a time I was at work. I just had this call that I'm to have an interview. So I just told my guy, I was like, okay, do you know what? I'm having an interview now. I'll just go for the interview and I'll come back. He was like, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. Go do your thing. When I came back, people were asking me, how was your interview? How was your interview? It was a good news. Fingers crossed, man, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. They do not mean harm when they do this, okay? They mean no harm, but it's like they don't understand the fact that not every news should be shared, even if it's a good news. Now, something happened again. I have this Asian colleague at work. He was about to get married, so he asked his supervisor for leave or time off. Then I noticed like days after, this guy comes to me all pissed, and I'm like, yo, what's good? Calm down, bro. What's good? Like, what's happening? And he was like, why Irish police? Why Irish police? I'm like, what are you talking about? So he said that the supervisor in a team meeting just announced to everyone that he was getting married. That wasn't the supervisor's place to just inform everyone of something like that. As I said, they don't always mean harm, but it's like they don't understand that good news shouldn't always be shared. Some people just want their privacy, even if it's a good news. So that being said, when you tell someone something, even if it's a good news that you don't want other people knowing about, just tell them, look, yo, it's for your ears only, okay? Don't tell anyone. As I said, they do not mean you harm. That's just the way they are. They are just free-spirited. Maybe to a fault to us, as it appears. The 14th, culture shock. Suing is the order of the day. You see, over here, they use legal means to handle disputes. Now, I can find this funny because they can sue you for literally anything and everything. You call someone a liar, they can sue you for defamation of character. You do this, they can sue you. You do that, they can sue you. You fall down, trip, and injure in front of my house. What the hell are you suing me for? God! They can just sue you for anything over here. That's just it. And as a matter of fact, right now, I've lost count of how many times some have been threatened to be sued. I remember when I was working in this call center, on call, they were even threatening to sue me. They'll be like, I'm gonna sue ya. I'm gonna be coming for ya. I'm gonna sue ya. Like, bro, why are you threatening me for? What are you suing me for exactly? As opposed to have how we have it in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we believe in throwing hands sometimes. So sometimes we handle things ourselves. In Nigeria, when you hear that someone is being sued, just know that, okay, this matter is the very, very height of it all. But over here, they can sue you for any little thing. You see it as a little thing, but to them, I don't know how they see things, but that's just it. You can be sued for anything. Culture shock number 15. Irish people put everything on the weather. They blame the weather for everything. You see someone looking pale, you ask them, it must be the weather. Someone is hungry, oh, I lost my appetite today, it must be the weather. Your dad went to buy milk, he did not come back. Oh, my dad went to buy milk, he didn't come back, it must be the weather. So basically, they put everything on the weather. Why do they do that? I honestly do not know, but when you come here and see that everyone is putting something on the weather, don't think about it much. It's the weather. Yeah, you see, I just put this on the weather. Culture shock number 16. Off alcohol hours. It's no secret that Ireland has a strong drinking culture. That's not a secret at all. But you see, something you might find shocking is the fact that alcohol is not always accessible to buy around the clock. There are certain times that you can buy alcohol. Let's say a supermarket, alright, or a mall. The time is from 10 to 10. That's before 10 a.m. you can't find, like, they won't sell it to you, and after 10 p.m. they won't sell it to you. On Sundays and St. Patrick's Day, it's 12:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. so you can't buy alcohol before 12:30 p.m. and you cannot buy after 10 p.m. So yeah, that's just the thing. At first, I didn't even know on this until I went to church one day, and my church is close to a mall. So I was like, okay, let me go do my shopping, and then I'll come back. So when I put in short, as a matter of fact, it wasn't even open. When I asked them about it, and they were like, that's the rule, that they cannot sell before 12:30. I'm like, why? So basically, they didn't even know the reason why. So when I did a little bit of research on this, I found out that it's the government's way of controlling alcohol consumption, and also they are using it as a way of preventing impulsive late night alcohol buying. The fact that they stopped selling 10 p.m. in malls does not mean that the pub closes. No. You can still get alcohol to buy in the pubs, but of course, in the pub, it's always more expensive. It makes sense though. At first, it didn't. I was like, okay, is that really necessary? Because most of the malls close by 10 p.m. anyway, but there are some that run round the clock. So in Ireland, from after 10 p.m., you cannot get alcohol to buy in a mall, shop, or supermarket. They don't do it. Like, they won't do, like, even, and they are so strict with this rule is that even 1 minute after 10 p.m. you won't see to buy at all. But you can always go to the pub after 10 p.m. for a pint or two, as the Irish would say. Yeah, so guys, we've come to the end of this. Alright, if you're still here, look, God bless you, okay? And I hope this video did not offend anyone. Over here with the Zodiac, we are not sensitive people, okay? Okay, it's fine if you are sensitive, but like, the point is that I didn't mean this, or rather, I didn't bring this out to be offensive to anyone with some of the points. And if it did, just know that it's my opinion, it's solely my opinion, right? I don't speak for anyone but me, okay? So it's fine if you disagree. And that's all she wrote. If you like the video, please like, share, subscribe. If you don't like the video, like, share, subscribe. And these are the culture shocks I've experienced as a Nigerian living in Ireland. I'm Zode, and I'm out.